Thank you guys. Thank you guys for having me. I'm going to tell a story, and it has a point. So just bear with me. I'm going to kind of embarrass myself a little bit. It's called The Barn Dance by Bill Martin. Full moon shining big and bright, pushing back them shadows and holding back them nights. Not a thing stirring, quiet as can be, just the whisper of the leaves of a cottonwood tree. Over in the farmhouse, all the lights were out. The farmer and the wife and kids, none were about, except for the skinny kid with questions in his head, was much too full of wonderment to spend the night in bed. He was up and about and wondering when the night owl said, "Hoo, hoo, 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 night is coming closer. Hoo, hoo, night is coming closer. Listen to the night. The moon is coming. Hoo, hoo." A scarecrow tucked his fiddle neath his chin and fiddled out a welcome to all his country kin. He fiddled through the farmhouse and all around the barn, bidding everybody welcome to a hoedown in the barn. There was so much chit and chatter when the critters all arrived that nobody saw the skinny kid oozling inside. Just in time to hear the old cow begin. "Grab yourself a partner and jump right in. Right hand, a left hand, around you go. In the dance with the curtsy and a bow. Hey there, skinny kid, show this old cow how." Well, the skinny kid came a-ticking and a-talking and a-yeeking and a-rocking and a-rocking and a-socking. He chopped the apple barrel and the pumpkins in a pile, and he showed him how to wagon wheel, barnyard style. 5 times, 10 times, 15, 20, now spin once again, and whoa, that's plenty. Well, the fat little pigs turned round and round that they got so dizzy that they all fell down. Well, the sun was coming up for the coming of the day when the skinny kid heard the night owl say, "Hoo, hoo, hoo, hoo. Morning's coming closer. Hoo, hoo. Morning's coming closer. Look at the sun. Night'll soon be gone. Hoo, hoo." The old hoon dog blinked and winked a sleepy eye. A blink too late to see the skinny kid slip by. He tiptoed through the kitchen and he tiptoed up the stairs, as quiet as a feather on a breath of fresh air. Now there was a smile on that kid's face as he tucked himself in bed with the wonders of the barn dance still dancing in his head. Well, my name is Brooks McMullan. I am the Senior Development Specialist for BFAC.com. And my question to you all is, what's your barn dance? What is it that gets you up in the morning and gets that little skip in your step? Because there's a lot of things that are going on in this world. And I'm telling you, that little barn dance, that little dream of yours is going to go a long ways. And there's a lot of things that are going on in our lives too. My barn dance, basically when I was growing up, is that I wanted to positively impact as many people as I possibly could. And I worked in education for 20 years. And I worked with students, and it was such a joy. The last school that I worked for, one thing that I really like doing is IT stuff and doing codes and all that stuff. And so they called on me and they said, Brooks, this school is kind of branching out into some new things. And we heard about this app thing. We wanted you to head that up. I'm like, oh, okay. So I didn't really know what I was really getting into. Well, there was a lot of growing pains that was going on. And, uh-oh. Did it go off? Awesome. Well, that's all right, that's all right. But anyway, I was going through a lot of growing pains getting this app together. And my brother, around the same time, started BFAC.com. And it was all about developing apps as well. So it was kind of interesting. And so my brother was like, "Brooks, what are you doing? Well, you're developing an app for them? Why don't you come over here and work with me?" And so, I was thinking about it, and after him pleading and begging me to come, I did. And I never looked back. The thing is that it's been an incredible experience. Hopefully, whenever these slides, is slides going on? I have a family, and I have a beautiful wife. Her name is Samantha, and I'm going to tell you she's the better part of the team. Let me just tell you that. She also owns her own company. I have 3 kids. Rachel is 13 going on 26, something like that. And she's an all-star cheerleader. And then my second son, Eric, he's an all-star football player. And my youngest, Cooper, he's just basically all-star in everything, so we call him Super Duper Cooper Man. That's basically what we do. So here's a picture of the crazy fam. And anyway, I want to talk to you about this guy. This is Brad McMullen. He's the CEO of BFAC.com. He was supposed to be here, but I'm the substitute. I'm sorry. But anyway, I admire this guy. It's funny, but I grew up, I'm the oldest of 4, and he's the youngest. And, usually it's the youngest person that admires, the older brother. But with Brad and I, it's totally the opposite. And so it's me who admires him. And as you can tell, before he was at BFAC.com, he was an award-winning journalist. He was a news anchor. And he won an Emmy Award for his story on Hurricane Katrina, covering Hurricane Katrina. And I don't know if anybody has seen Borat. You don't have to raise your hand, but I'm just saying, yeah. He's in that movie Borat, so if you actually want to catch him, you can watch Borat, and it's a really good scene. But anyway, he's kind of a celebrity. So anyway, eventually, Brad, even though he was very talented, he decided to start BFAC.com because when he was little, ever since he was 5, 6, 7 years old, there was something special in it. I knew it. His barn dance was to be a CEO of a major corporation someday. And so he started BFAC.com, and like a lot of startup companies, there was a lot of challenges, a lot of things that he had to overcome. And so there were a lot of growing pains. And this is one of my favorite shows, by the way. We had to put this in there. But anyway, a lot of growing pains. And it wasn't pretty. I mean, there was a lot of things that, the obstacles were pretty high. And just some of the stories he told, I still don't know how he overcame some of those obstacles. Some of the things that he went through. I mean, there's just all these things, but there's humbling times for him, and but he overcame those. And so, what is BFAC.com? Well, Brad started it in 2006, and basically, BFAC is an award-winning technology company that provides mobile marketing solutions for businesses and organizations, governments, and political figures. And just to let you know that the first 3 years of BFAC, he didn't earn a dime. But then after some perseverance and a lot of prayer, things happened. BFAC is now the #1 listed business texting company by Bing and Google, one of the fastest growing app companies in the world. Brad has been named Executive of the Year many, many times, and BFAC has won many, many awards for being one of the commercial technology companies. BFAC administration brings over 100 years of marketing and customer service expertise to our clients, and we think our clients are second to none. And of course, there's some that you've probably heard of already. There's Chick-fil-A, Pepsi, the National Guard, Michelin Tires, just to name a few. But most of our clients are businesses, small businesses. About 90% of our clients are small businesses. And we have to pay tribute to our national spokesman, former head football coach, Bobby Bowden, and we're kind of proud of that. But basically our goals is to treat others the way that you would like to be treated and help clients build stronger relationships with their clients, donors, customers, using our technology. So, what year is it? Well, obviously, it's 2017. Believe it or not, 2017 is almost over. Thanksgiving is just a week away. Just can't believe it. Well, basically, what we want to ask you is what was going on probably 10 years ago in your life that maybe you're not doing anymore. So the thing is that there's a lot of things that are going on maybe today that you have now that you didn't have 10 years ago. So for example, you probably don't drive the same car you did 10 years ago. Maybe you didn't even live here 10 years ago. Maybe you had a different house. Maybe you had to change a few things in your apartment or something like that. So there's a lot of things that had changed back then. And now, obviously, there's going to be some changes too, sometime in the future. What's that going to be like? And it's important that we have that same kind of mindset with business as well. Because businesses today obviously had to change to be successful in today's marketplace. What do they see now in order for them to become more profitable, more successful in the future? So what do you see? Well, people are on their phones everywhere. Everywhere you go. You see them restaurants, you see them at shopping malls, you see them, watching TV. I got one. How many of you have a cell phone by chance? Yeah? How many of you have 2 cell phones? You going that far? See? So the thing is, everybody has one of these. And it was so crazy. My son and I, or my family and I, we went to watch the OU TCU game on Saturday. Go Sooners, right? And believe it or not, my son even pointed this out. Everybody, I think there was a record crowd, 88,000 something, 300 people were there. They were all looking, most of them, we just couldn't help it, but we saw people all playing with their phones. And my son said, "Look, Dad, he's playing with his phone. I'm like, he's not really watching the game." It was crazy, but it's true. So basically, it's all around. Now, 10 years ago, people were carrying computers. Are they carrying computers now? This is something I want you to see. This was going on at the Vatican, all right? 2005, and then 8 years later, 2013. What's the difference? So in 2005, this is the moment when the new pope was announced, and just a few people, I can see one right here. There it is, a cell phone. But nobody else has one. Maybe another one over there. But just 8 years later, can you see a person that doesn't have one? So here's a few facts here. I have to write these down because I can't remember all these little numbers. There are 6.8 billion people on the planet. 5.1 billion own a cell phone. 5.1. There are more cell phones now than there are TVs, television sets. I never thought that would ever happen. And what's so crazy, 5.1 billion have cell phones. That's more than people who own a toothbrush. That's crazy. 4.2 4.2 billion own a toothbrush. And then, it's really kind of weird, but you should watch people. They really treat their phones like babies. Haven't you noticed that? Some of them like put little things around them and all that stuff, and they're very nice and gentle to them. And here's the thing, 91% of the people keep their phone within 3 feet of themselves 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Isn't that true? So, people often say that people are mobile now. And that's where your customers are. See, your customers are right here with the phone. So that's your subscribers, that's your voters, that's your clients, that's your customers. And through mobile technology, via texting and push notifications, you can actually reach out to them and remind them about certain events, certain details, certain donations, and maybe even attaching certain websites and videos to really capture their attention. See right here? This is the crazy thing. The booming businesses have apps. Anybody seen, has anybody seen the recent Instagram TV commercial? No? Well, how have you heard about Instagram? You know why? Because they have an app. How many of you have heard of Uber? Yeah? Well, people didn't think Uber was going to do anything. Oh my gosh, there's so many taxi services out there. And of course they're going to be lost in the website wave. There's no way they're going to make it. Well, they went where the people are. They got an app. Now, they are a $60 billion company. What about Netflix? Well, when it comes to today's marketing and communication with your clients, you can either be a Blockbuster or a Netflix. You know, when I was a kid, Blockbuster was kind of like a dream place to go. I mean, it was awesome. I mean, you would rent a movie, and then you would have to take it back, or they would own your house if you didn't take it back, right? And the thing is, you just go into that place and it was just surrounded by videos and video games. Well, in 2006, Netflix asked Blockbuster to purchase them for $3 million. And Blockbuster was like, Netflix, well, who? Like, huh? No. So a few years later, Netflix decided to get this thing called the app and decided to allow people to rent DVDs off their phone. And then eventually, videos? Are you kidding me? And now, today, Netflix is one of the 50 most successful businesses on earth. So look where the most successful companies are going when you want to see what's going on. They are going where the people are today. So I got a question for you. Oops. What is the number one source of information? Anybody got something? Internet, raise your hand. Social media. You think? Well, it's mobile apps. It's kind of a trick question because social media uses mobile apps. Because last year, 94% of the population pushed that little F button on the phone. You think about it, major events such as the Super Bowl in the last 3 years have been pushing all this money to download their app. And newspapers, radio programs, television news programs. As a matter of fact, I was watching Channel 5 yesterday. And all they were saying, download our app. When my brother was an anchor, this was about 10 years ago, he had some stories that he wasn't able to tell until the 10 o'clock news because everybody was watching those. And now what's happening is that they can get instant news off their phone, off a push notification or a text. Aha. Apps versus mobile websites. It's interesting. Forbes magazine somehow got this incredible access to all Apple phones, i6s, all the way down. And through this analytic data found this interesting statistic that when somebody turns on the phone, this is where they go. 86% of all of those phones went to apps. 14% went into mobile websites. And so here's the thing, is that you can go into Google and put in insurance. And if you do that, good luck, because there are tons of websites out there. And if you don't even know the agent's name, good luck. But you know what? There are like 2 billion different websites out there that are fighting for that 14%. And so if you get an app, pretty much there's like 1.5, 1.6 apps out there now. Chances are if I put in that insurance, I'm going to find it, especially if they have an app. The other thing that they found was that a lot of people downloaded apps by all these categories. And the most popular one, of course, you would probably know this, is that you see little kids doing it all the time. They play games. That's correct. Video games. 20% of all apps looked at are video games. How many have heard of Angry Birds? Yeah? Nintendo didn't want them. Sony didn't want them. What'd they do? They went to where the people are. And they've made over $1 billion for the last 5 years. It's pretty good for a kind of a crazy game. I never really liked it. Here's the exciting part, is that 10% are education, 9% are marketing and business. If you go where the people are, things will happen. A couple of features on the app that are really popular with us is that you can integrate with social media under one tab, create forms and documents, photo galleries, car finder applications, news feed ticker that goes across. But then, what is the most effective marketing strategy for any business since the beginning of time? Would you say personal recommendation? What do you think a warm lead is to you? It's pretty awesome, right? My brother says it's just like Mom's chocolate chip cookies. It's good. It's real good. So the funny thing is that in your app, you have the ability to share it with others. And I am telling you, it's amazing. The thing is, it's not confrontational at all. My wife, she'll go over and tell everybody, oh, you got to go to this place, got to go to this place. Yeah, this is great. I'm kind of the exact opposite. But you know what? If I find something and if it's not really confrontational at all, I'll tell people about it. I'll just push that little share button, and boom, it goes to my friends, it goes to my family. And you know what? Pretty high chance that that person's going to download your app because they know me, they trust me. It's not coming from you, it's not coming from, the company, it's coming from that person. The other thing about the app feature that's really awesome is push notifications. What's so great is that now apps have this technology that you can circle around a school You can circle around a university. You can find where your people are and send them information. Oh my goodness. And now what's so crazy is that you can organize it on your app, and you can create groups, send push notifications to those particular groups, and if they put in a username and passcode, that username, it's a person. And if they put in their first and last name, whatever, I can send a personal push notification to that person just thanking them for going to this event. Oh, little things like that go a long way. So why are people frolicking to apps? Well, unlike websites, you can get the information faster by just with the push of a button. It downloads on your phone, so you can go right to it every single time. And this part right here, it says customers spend almost the same amount of time on apps as watching TV. That's wrong. Now they spend more times on apps than on watching TV. Oh, there it is. I know just a year ago, it was hard to not hear about the craziness about the presidential election last year. Candidates, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, had their way of organizing their campaign. But regardless of who you voted for, it was obvious that one of the campaigners or presidential nominees did something different that was not the norm. Actually, he went to where the people were. He used social media, and he used mobile technology to tell people what was going on. And I would argue that's what pushed him over the ledge. The media can't figure it out because somehow, some way, this guy beat a very popular candidate, Hillary Clinton. So wherever this guy spoke, he had some information right there on his podium. Hey, if you wanted to follow me, all you have to do is text Trump to a short code number. And so if people were interested, well, I just want to find out a little bit more about this guy. They just text in that information. And what happened? Well, Donald Trump would say, hey, I'm in this area. Come on by. Or this is my view on this policy. Or you know what? I'm sending you a text just to let you know I'm kind of a human and I don't have a fake hairpiece like everybody says that I do. And why do I know this? Because I was one of them. I opted in. And you know what? I knew some things about Donald Trump that the media had never said. Isn't that what businesses want to do too? Because you know what? This was kind of building a relationship. And so businesses out there will probably want that same thing. See, the best way to build relationships is through communication. And that's what texting is all about. It's instant communication. Texting is the #1 way of communication in every single county, in every single state of the United States. It's almost 4-to-1 over phone calls made. And what you do using texting is that you just reach out to your employees, your managers, and you reach out to your customers, enabling a stronger relationship with them. So how do your customers talk to your best friends? They text. How do your customers talk to your spouses? Texting. USA said it best when it mentions over 90% of the people married don't even know their spouse's phone number anymore. Why? Because they're texting them instead. So, why texting? Well, it's immediate. All right? 98% of all texting is read. 90% of all emails are not. How many of you probably erased some emails yesterday? Or maybe you haven't even read some of your emails yesterday. Or maybe you haven't even read your emails today. Now, let me ask you this question. If it was really, really important, life-shattering, would you send that person an email? Or would you send that person a text? Why texting? It's immediate, it's personal, it's targeted, it's read, it's cost-effective, it reaches out to the customers no matter where they are. You can gain new clients, customers, increase customer retention, increase loyalty, increase sales. You can even get more traffic to your business from one single text message. There's a lot of our clients that are in restaurants, and just every once in a while, every other week, they'll send a text that has a little special or a deal to it, and they'll send it in the morning, like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock in the morning. And then later that day, there's a line that comes and starts and goes out of their doors, out into the parking lot. Why? Because they want to experience, they want this special. They were texted this information. There's a church that I work with as well, and there was a horrible fire, and it was just, the bottom part of the church was just devastated, and the secretary there just sent out a text to see if they can have some volunteers to help pick up the area, just to kind of make it a little bit better. She said instantly, volunteers came from everywhere to help, to do all these things that they could so that the church could be, better than new. And it was instant. And she said, you know what? The old way, I would have to phone call, and it would be hours and hours until I got that same number. So how are you staying in touch with your customers? According to Borrell Associates, it's a marketing research firm, I guess some of you know what that is. Texting messaging has been estimated to be 5 times more effective than direct mail and 10 times more effective than newspaper advertising. Mobile coupons, get this, gets 10 times the redemption rate of traditional coupons. So if you want your customers to come back, send them a text with a coupon. One thing I was kind of talking to a few people about is that, hey, we want to advertise on social media and all that stuff. Well, my wife has a lipstick business, and she's built all these people and all these friends, all this stuff on her business Facebook page. And so she worked really hard. And so she would send out some information, and she would call some of those friends of hers that were on Facebook. Oh, did you get this advertisement that No, I didn't do it. I didn't get anything. Well, she would just call some more. No. Well, she found out that even though Facebook is doing all this great stuff, is that you don't own the data. They do. And obviously, she just found out that if she really wanted to advertise to all of her friends, it would cost her a lot. And apparently, only 16% will actually see your post. With our texting platform, you own the data. And you can print it anywhere, anytime, whenever you want. Also, according to the Borrell Associates, one of the reasons companies don't really look into apps is that it's still a new thing. They're scared of it. They're not sure really what it's going to do. So I have one more story to tell. It's A Teacher from the Black Lagoon by Mike Thaler. Oh boy, it's the first day of school. Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait to find out who my new teacher is. Yes, my new teacher. Yeah, Mr. White. Yes, Mr. White. He is amazing. He loves kids. Oh, I can't wait to find out. Oh, better yet, I hope I get Mrs. Smith. Oh, Mrs. Smith loves kids and gives candy. Oh, yeah, I just can't wait. Oh, yes. Oh, this is my new teacher. Oh, I can't wait to see who it is. Oh, no. I have Mrs. Green. Oh, she really hates kids. I guess room 107. I guess I'll just sit here and close my eyes and, oh, I'm too young to die. Suddenly, there's a shadow over the door. And the door opens slowly. In walks Mrs. Green. For she's really green. She has fangs and a nostrils and a tail. And as she's slithering across the floor, she has this sinister grin and khaki laugh. Freddie decides to throw a spitball at her. Hits her right in the nostrils. Mrs. Green looks at Freddie and breathes fire right at him. Oh no! There's nothing left of Freddie. There's just ashes left of him. Oh no! Talking about bad breath, shouted Eric. Mrs. Green slithered to where Eric was sitting, unscrewed his head, and put it right there on a globe stand. Since this is the first day at school, we're going to have all homework for today. Now, class, we're going to do pages 1 to 256. All fraction problems. There was a question from Brent. He raised his hand. Mrs. Green responded, yes. Mrs. Green, I really don't know how to do fraction problems. Come here. Come here, she beckoned with her claw. Now, poor Brent stood by Mrs. Green as she explained to the class how to do fraction problems. Now, class, this is a whole boy. Notice he has all of his parts, his arms, his legs, and his head. Suddenly, she took a huge bite out of Brent. Now, class, notice, this is half a boy. That's fractions. Any questions? Everybody could hear Julie playing video games on her phone. Mrs. Green slithered over to where Julie was sitting and ate her up in one big gulp. Oh, goodness. Let's call roll, shall we? Freddie is absent. And Eric is here and there. And Brent is half here. And Julie is digesting. Oh dear, look at the time. Well, it's time for nap time. So if you still have one, please put your heads on your desks. Sweet dreams. Suddenly, the school bell rings. Ding! Well, there's this person. She doesn't look green. Oh my goodness, she says something. Hello, class. I'm Mrs. Green, your new teacher. I'm glad to be here. Oh my goodness, she's not green. She doesn't have a tail. She doesn't have fangs. Oh my gosh, I couldn't help it myself. I went up and hugged her as tight as I could. And she said, well, thank you. I'm glad to be here. And I said, not as glad as I am. So, the point of this story, just like Mrs. Green, mobile technology is not scary. Mobile technology aims to make your life easier and tasks better suited for the mobile world. More and more businesses that fail to adapt are going to be found left behind, while the savvy ones who learn to keep up will reap the rewards. At BFAC, we set the standard for customer service. We will be with you every step of the way to produce a successful tool for your business and organization. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you so much. Do you guys have any questions for him? Yes.
Where do you get your storytelling ability?
Oh, thank you. No, actually, education, and I did do a lot of presentations, and that's how I came across a lot of those stories. And it's funny. I mean, most of them are kid stories and all that stuff, but they do have a point. And of course, obviously, I tell them a lot in some of my presentations, and they tend to go pretty far. Actually, I do have some of those. I do have copies of those books, and can give you some information on those if you'd like to read about them.